Hello, Sunset PBO people. We are here with your week 6 power rankings. God, time flies. I'm joined by Don
What's up?
and special guest Jarvis IMO, the dead mother. Hello. Hello, Jarv.
I'm not metal, but I'll do my best metal impression. It's really rainy here.
Hello.
Shouts out the Brits. Don, take it away. I'm not going to keep waiting any longer.
All right, we're just going to jump right into this. Our last place team right now is the Cherry Hill Bellsprouts. They haven't been able to pick up a win yet, and their record is the only one that's 0-5. So they're pretty much here by default. If we look at their losses, though, two of the teams are very high placing, being with the Lion City Leech Life and the Alabama Feraligatrs. Then there's a team squarely in the middle in the Prophet of the Pantheon, and then two teams towards the bottom in the Pokerangers and the Milton Keynes Ladies. Now, this basically tells us that so far, Cherry Hill has had a pretty average schedule in terms of difficulty, but hasn't been able to scrape together any wins yet. If we look at the stats he's got going on here, the Terapagos and the Landorus have kind of been doing most of his offensive carrying here, and the Jugulus and the Hands are like kind of back up a little bit. Nothing else has really done much of anything. They're all like fairly new to the team. Cherry Hill's used all of his transactions already. He got rid of the Terra Boulder, the Albemarle, the Roshan, the Rotomeat. Or not the Rotomeat. The Rotomeat's still here. He got rid of a lot of stuff from the original team, and now this is what he's got.
Like, if you look at Cherry Hill's top mons, equal differential on Terap, on Jugulus, on Lando, on Hands, you're like, all right, that's not bad. But I think you can understand Cherry Hill's season based on where they tried to invest to try to get their wins. Like, I prepped Leo for his matchup with Cherry Hill's team, and I was actually doing really well because I was playing around the Terra Iron Jugulus. And I think for a lot of Cherry Hill's games, he's used like Terra Iron Boulder, which I think we've reached a consensus, right, Don, that Terra Iron Boulder is not a real mon, especially if you don't.
I wouldn't say that. I think it's a real mon. All right, I just think people don't just choice ban Terra Rock enough.
Yeah. This was a Terra Hands as well. I think that was Terra'd once or twice in their matches. I don't think they've been using Fenzandipiti very well, and we've seen in Crystal that Kowtow is pretty dominant with it. I know you have choice opinions on Empoleon, Don. It just won you a title.
I love Empoleon.
Like, I don't remember where you and Metal put this at the beginning of the season, but I don't think this is a bad team. I think Cherry Hill just hasn't been able to get rocking and rolling with it.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's rough with this team is this team really, I guess it's mostly, there are like two physical attackers, right? There's Orgerpon Teal, which in my opinion is a matchup fish of a Pokemon, and there's non-Terra Iron Hands, which is usually just like trading with the opponent. So in terms of physical attackers, you don't have a lot of options to break those like special walls that your special attackers are having trouble getting through. I still think Rotom Heat is bad. I think Grafaiai is like, it'll come once a season and do something, I guess. I don't know. I just there's not enough like top power, like Terapagos is cool, but you want to be pairing it with like a really strong dark type like Roaring Moon or Darkrai or stuff like that. But Jugulus is cool, but it's not really doing exactly the kind of breaking power and like dark type role that Terapagos really wants.
I think he hasn't really tarred it, or he hasn't really capitalized on it. I think he tarred it once when he like led it. I don't know. I see this team, and it's not a bad team, but I think Cherry Hill has been uncomfortable with a number of these mons, and it's really been hampering what's been generally good play out of like the Landorus and the Terapagos.
Yeah. I got a friendly tip for you, Cherry Hill. This is just something out of my playbook with Landorus. Substitute Landorus is a drug. It forces switches super well. You just click sub when they switch, and now all of a sudden you get 2 kills. I encourage you to give it a shot. But if we look at the rest of the schedule, It's kind of a tough schedule in my opinion. Like Blasphemous is the number one team in the division right now. I'm after that, and I'd like to think I'm pretty good. And then we have a game against Geo, who's also towards the bottom of the division alongside Cherry Hill. So that one's winnable. I mean, they're all winnable, but the Geo game's probably going to be a little bit easier than the other two.
I'm just looking at the name, Blasphemous Blacephalon.
Blasphemous, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Tough season. We've had a lot of drops in the PBO this season, so I hope you stick with it. Really love to see you pull out an upset win over Blasphemous. Bearing no ill will towards Don, but I do like rooting for the underdog. But yeah, tough beats.
Yeah.
Definitely can bring out some fun matchups.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to our number 13 team here, which is the Edinburgh Enamorus. Now this is Gio, longtime PBO player. He also technically doesn't have any wins this season. He's 1-4, but that one win is from a forfeit from Kuma, I believe. I think it was Kuma.
It's Kuma.
His team is still the same as it was preseason, and it hasn't been doing too well. The Enamorus is like the only thing with any notable kills on the team.
Well, to be fair, just to kind of caveat this, the Helsinki loss was a forfeit. Gio hasn't been around for a month.
True. Yeah, that's true. He did play all of his games really early.
Really early, getting ready to go like on a trip abroad. Plays me, and on one switch out, gets 6-0'd by a setup G Moltres. Like if you're trying to think about, okay, which person might be most set up to like pull an upset out of these like bottom tier teams, it's probably Gio. Gio knocked me out of playoffs last season in week 8 because I wasn't ready for the max special attack Regieleki. Gio can bring out some really cool stuff, and maybe he comes back super fresh. He's like, yeah, you know what, let me play my game, and he comes out and picks out the win against Milton, Keynes, or Shadow.
For sure.
I don't think we need to talk too much about this team because we frankly haven't seen Gio for a month.
Well, I mean, we still haven't talked about the team like since any of these games. Like he still did play some of these games. Like he got a forfeit win from Kuma and a forfeit loss to Helsinki. But the other games he did play, like the game against London Lunalas, that's a loss to like a top team right now. A loss to Blue, another top team, and then a loss to you, so which is another top team. So like the losses, like again, the ones that he actually played are against good teams, and then the other stuff they're from forfeits. So it definitely it makes sense that this team could definitely come back. The rest of his schedule just looks like we have the Milton Keynes Miladies, who we haven't seen too much of yet because they're subbing for what was it, Little Rock the Ansies, I think.
Yes.
So have we seen them play yet? I don't remember.
Yes, they played their week.
Okay. They played Cherry Hill.
Yes, and they beat Cherry Hill.
Yeah. So we haven't seen too much of yet, but so far they seem decent. Lion City, who's a top team right now, and then the Cherry Hill Bellsprouts. So with 3 games left in the season to play, there are definitely a couple wins to be had here for sure.
I like this team a lot. If you're looking at this in the future, if you're like, oh, maybe I should pick up these Mons while I see the record, this is a good team. Dio can do a ton. I played with Terra Men's last season, and I was not a huge fan. I think Terra Gliscor is disgusting, especially if you double dance it. I love Enamorus. I was rocking this max HP, max Spadef, superpower Custap Berry set that was disgusting.
You and Custap Berry.
Oh, I love a good Custap. Metagross is great. Cinderace is great. If this team was around for the whole season, I would expect Gio to be middle of the pack.
Maybe. I'm of the opinion that base Enamorus is a bad Pokemon and you should not draft it.
Oh, totally disagree.
I'm sorry. I don't think it's good. I like the rest of the guys though. I like Deoxys Speed. I'm a huge fan of that guy. Terraments. I think people call it a matchup fish, but I think if you tap into its move pool and do mixed sets and do defensive Terra Water stuff, I think those sets are kind of untapped. But Gliscor honestly is a more consistent Terra guy probably. Its main thing is double dance at this point, but it doesn't need to do that either. It's basically there's a lot of versatility between your 2 main Terra captains. I don't
Yeah.
think the Suicune's ever really gonna Terra, but who knows? It might.
You can matchup fish it. Maybe maybe a team kind of doesn't have something to hit like a fat Terra Poison.
Pretty much. But
It gets.
I like all the other guys though.
Oh, Conk is great. Alolan Muck is great.
Isn't Conk the kill leader in Neon right now?
Yeah.
Shut out Rex.
Huge. Well, yeah, I don't have anything else to say about this team, do you?
No, I think we can move on.
All right, let's move on then to our number 12 team, the Milton Keynes Miladies. Now, keep in mind, this team just joined. They just took over for the Little Rock Yanceys. And so far, Milton Keynes himself has only played one game, and he won that game. So it's a great debut for him. And then if we look at the team that he inherited from Little Rock, there aren't really a lot of changes to it. There was a Terra change, I think, from Hisuian Zoroark to Superior, and then Hisuian Goodra got picked up, Drifblim got picked up. I think everything else is stayed the same. Maybe Meloetta also got Terra, but I don't remember for sure. But basically, this team has the good bones that Little Rock gave it, and then it improved upon the Terra captains, which was our biggest gripe in preseason power rankings. So overall, I think the team is definitely a lot better now. Are there still improvements to be made? Probably, but I'm not going to nitpick. When you're given such a limited board, when you're picking up a team, you get a lot of grace from me.
And they're playing you and I for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, the gauntlet.
But very easily could take a win off of one or both of us.
For sure.
I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility that this team makes it to playoffs.
For sure. It's definitely not out.
The Geo match could be a forfeit, could be a win off of someone coming off of jet lag, coming from abroad, hasn't played Mons in a month.
I think he's back already, so I don't think it should be a problem.
Okay, well, fingers crossed.
I could be wrong.
He is back.
I think he's
he
back.
is back, yes.
The common theme with these teams is that so far of the 3 teams that we've talked about, none of them have wins except for over Cherry Hill. It's been a bit of a weird season in Sunset, and you can kind of tell that by the way that we're zipping through these teams. We generally like these teams. We think that they're generally strong trainers that would have done coaches that would have done very well like last season. It's just been a weird year in Sunset.
It's been very weird. But yeah, I think overall, team is still good. Season's not over. Garchomp, honestly, I think this team is trying to support that as its main guy, which means it's probably trying to do SD scale shot most weeks. I do think smart opponents will be able to pick up on what this team's game plan is, and they're going to try really hard to prevent these top 3 guys from really dominating. But hey, maybe there's some opportunities there for Milton Keynes to take advantage of predictability.
I love Superior. I love these contrary Mons.
I almost like it better as just Glare, knock off Leech Seed. That
kind of really? Stuff. I love just pick a Terra.
It's insane speed control. It's so good at it.
Yeah. Pick a Terra, hit your Leaf Storm, and go to town. I was playing with I forget who has it in Stargazer, but I was prepping Philly again, and I was playing with the Superior, and he goes, I don't think Superior is coming here, and I go and I 6-0 him 3 games in a row, and then it goes down to 1 HP. So I go to Jirachi and Healing Wish it back up. Oh my god, Superior is so good. And with the Volcarona, again, a Mon that doesn't have Terra. Same with the Hisuian Zoroark. Doesn't have Terra, but can just click a button and deal huge damage to a team.
Yeah, for sure.
So keep in mind, this is Metal's friend, by the way.
Yes, this is Metal's friend.
This
a fellow hog cranker.
A fellow Clefemboy's friend.
God, what would Metal say here?
I don't know. Something about cranking hog. Anyways, I think without having seen anything except for 1 game from this team, I don't have that much else to say about it. I think it could definitely still make playoffs, but he's gonna have to really sweat his ass off for it.
Or you and I could throw one or the other.
Yeah, okay, buddy. I'm not throwing. I live to win.
I don't know. I feel like I've got one more toss in me. I'm hoping to get it out the way in the regular season.
Yeah, I might also. I could definitely. My team could definitely lose to this team. It's not an easy game by any stretch.
Totally. Totally. Losable game. Got to prep for it.
But I think we're going to move on to our next team now. The Pokerangers, a.k.a. Leo. He is also 1-4. But again...
Are we noticing a trend?
The only team he's beaten is the Cherry Hill Bellsprouts. So it's unfortunate. Because this team, if I remember correctly, it was either number 2 or number 3 in power rankings.
It was 3. I was 3. Right behind it.
Yeah. So this team it's still really good. I think it's really good, but I just don't think Leo's appreciating the Terra Quaquaval as much as he probably should, in my opinion. I think he's been tearing the Golden Go more often than not.
I think it's been 50-50.
Has it been? I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know
because he's played 4 games. But... He teared the... I want to say he teared the Quack into me. I don't think he's teared the Shocks. I want to say it's 2 for Gold and 2 for Quack.
I think Terra Gold is like... That guy's a demon on the ladder, but I think it's not as good in draft. I think Terra Quaquaval is one of the best Terra captains we have available. I think that guy is really broken, and I think it's a Raven in Gazer is showing that he kind of leans into the support move pool, clicks Encore once in a while. Sometimes goes without Aqua Step, which is crazy, but it's been working. So like I think if he can lean into the Terra Quaquaval a bit more, the team will start winning a lot more.
I know you love like the double water, the Azu Quack.
I do. I love double water.
I'm very Bloodmoon pilled. I love that thing. I think Leo's been kind of all-inning on the Roaring Moon when it comes in.
Kind of, yeah. He against Blue the other day, he just kind of sacked it to a Skarmory body press, which it was booster attack and it was +1 and it clicks knockoff, does like 65 to the Skarm. And then he takes helmet chip, so he's at 84%, and then the Skarmory clicks body press and kills him, and he was surprised, and I feel like it was a pretty simple calc. Like at that point, it's just a thing where it's like I just didn't check. It's like, well, maybe if we put a little bit more effort into each turn and not take things like that for granted, then the games can go a lot differently. Because like even in these losses, the loss against Alabama, it wasn't like he didn't get destroyed. It was just like they were pretty even throughout most of the mid game, and then Excadrill just hits the field and cleans up like it does. So it was a lot closer than it actually looked. The Blasphemous win, I don't really remember the Blasphemous loss. The loss to me was a forfeit, so I didn't actually beat him. So we don't know how that would have gone. And then the game against Jarv, was that another Gold Trace game?
No, that was before. That was my rain team.
Oh, that's right. He got Barraskewda. I remember. And
no. He got Overquill.
Overquill. That's right. It was Overquill. I remember.
He brought the Quilladin.
Yeah, didn't he Terra Water the Golden Go in that game?
No. That was in the Mox. I don't remember. Anyway, one of the other things I don't think Leo was doing great is playing around the Mesprit. Like as your primary support on this team, basically, because I think you want to play the Golden Go maybe a little more offensively, and the Moltres isn't coming to a lot of the games. I remember he's just like bringing it out for like a couple turns. Maybe it gets a second rotation in, and then it's just like healing wishes to have a healing wish up in the air. But it's like you can do that later, or okay, we're gonna have the Roaring Moon set up early, put in a whole bunch of like damage, get down to like low HP, take it out, and then bring the Mesprit back in to healing wish it back up. I don't think the Mesprit has a clear role. I feel like Leo has gotten locked into this thing is going to set screens, then Healing Wish, and then my Quack is going to roll through everyone, which is how Raven has played for a number of his games. But it's been kind of clunky, frankly.
A little bit. I think like the team I still think is like really, really good. I think if he can just like get a couple more turns right in each of these games, he's going to be in a lot better of a spot. Because like the nature of this team is like if he can position something good 1 or 2 times, the game just ends. Like that's how Quaquaval works. That's how Bloodmoon works. That's how Roaring Moon works. So if you can just get those positioning turns right just a couple more times, like per game, then things are going to go a lot better for him. And if we look at the rest
I was just going to say that Week 7 game is going to really define, whether what's going on with Leo. Because the Helsinki game is very winnable. And now you're going up against basically the same team that you played Week 1 if Big Dave brings
the second
rain.
Pelipper of the season. Doesn't he also Barraskewda now?
Yeah, the second Barraskewda.
Yeah, so that's going to be tough for him. Dreary Lane, is definitely a winnable game. Also, like all these games are winnable, but they're going to be hard. Like this team isn't out of playoffs, but again, like we said with Geo, and I think we said it for Cherry Hill too. You're just gonna have to sweat if you want to make playoffs this season. It's kind of just how it's gonna go.
I kind of think we're gonna know whether Leo is gonna win Week 8 based on what we see from him Week 6 and 7.
Maybe. But yeah, I think with that we're going to move on to our number 10 spot. Our number 10 spot is the Syracuse Snorlax, the snow team of the division. The only snow team now, mind you. So we'll get to that a bit more later. But Week 1, he played Birmingham, now Helsinki after a drop, and he beat them. And then lost to Lion City Leech Life, the number 2 team in the div. Then lost to me, which that was honestly just like a bad lead on his part. Mew just got 5 kills, and then Tinkaton got the last one. He beat Little Rock. Oh, it was a forfeit win for Little Rock, and then he lost 4 to the new Dreary Lane Darmanitans. So basically, this team, what we've noticed when like prepping with him and stuff, is that the team really isn't holding things together well defensively. There's no fire answer. That was the reason he lost to me Week 3. It was one of the reasons he was losing to Shadow Week 2 and Mox. Like I just brought Terrafire Chi-Yu, did Choice Scarf Fire move, did O-Code his whole team. Like your water type not resisting fire on a snow team is really rough. So I think that's part of the reason he picked up Bruxish, but I don't think that's enough. But like basically this team is all in on offense, which is like it's a snow team, of course it is. But sometimes he's leaning too much on the Glow King for defense. I think sometimes you just need to like be more offensive.
Yeah, I was the one who recommended the Orgerpon pickup. In hindsight, maybe Vaporeon was like really good, but again, if we're playing for offense and like you typically want a good defensive partner like with Glow King to allow it to kind of come back in, use Regenerator. Like in one of the lower divisions, I think in Crystal there's a Glow King Corviknight pairing that's doing incredibly well. Prior to picking up the Orgerpon, I think he really needed Kyurem to be Scarf for speed. Satitan kind of had that Slush Rush opportunity, but was really only coming in one setting up. And then you had Tusk, which hasn't really been able to play defensively to support Glow King because of how much of an offensive need kind of requires from it. We haven't really seen a ton of the Thunderous, haven't really seen... I was going to say we haven't seen a ton of the Scizor, but I kind of think it hasn't been in for that many turns. Like, it's picked up kills, it's picked up, like, Bullet Punch Revenges. I don't know. I think a lot of these mons are in a tough spot, having to be, like, shoehorned into a role, and this team is very much so offense with a lot of, like, lacking speed control. And, like, Great Tusk is very weak, especially defensively. Glow King just falls over against something like an Urshifu, which Syracuse found in this past week against Dreary Lane. The Terrifier Mew from Dawn is like really hard to deal with this team. I've nudged him to make a few more transactions because I do think a lot of the issues that Syracuse has had have been structural with this team, but they haven't come through. I'm not sure if he's planning on making more moves before the deadline or he just wants to ride this out. This is our number 10 team. This is firmly in the easily could make playoffs section. Sure. Typically we say like 4-4 with like maybe somewhere around like a 0-point differential is in. Very, very doable in concept. Those last 3 games are looking pretty scary.
They definitely are. Blue is like the team that's come in mid-season that's been succeeding a lot with his sand team. Blasphemous, I already said, is the number 1 team in the division, and Mad Mac is like solid. My bad, but Mad Mac is pretty solidly in the middle of the division this season. But if I had to put Syracuse's the flaws with Syracuse's team into like one phrase, it would be it's super offensive, but with no speed to clean up games. even if he tries to make progress, there's no like definitive cleaner. Like Scissor's priority is the best he's got. Maybe a Scarf cure him.
That was my thinking around like the Woger. Something you could run either as a.
I just don't think Woger's fast enough. Like 110 is fast, but it's not like cleaner fast. It's not Meowscarada or Darkrai fast.
Yeah,
I think 120 or above is a good benchmark, especially on a team like this where it's like you really need that cleanup. But I don't know. I don't know if there are really any options like that left on the board. There was for a while. There was a Meowscarada, but that got snatched up.
Yeah.
Actually, Darkrai might still be on the board now.
Darkrai's on the board. Urshifu Rapid is on the board.
I don't think that's going to do the job.
Iron Boulder, Iron Crown.
Terra Boulder, yeah.
Arcanine.
Darkrai, I think, are probably, if you're looking to make transactions at this point, I think those are probably your best options if you're trying to get just like strictly a cleaner. I also think like Darkrai, if you want to slot that on, Hypnosis is also really nice to get some of your guys like Wogerpon, Scizor, or Kyurem, or even Tusk. Just get those extra turns off of a sleep to just set up and beat a team.
The flip side, Alomamola's on the board. Pick up Alomomola, make this so it's not like so all in on offense while being slow. It gives you a nice partner with the Glow King.
Yeah, you could. I will never tell someone to pick up Alomomola, but it is an option.
I'm an Alomomola fan. I'm an Alomomola believer. Try to bring your Terrifier Mew in there now.
Okay, now I'm just clicking Thunderbolt.
Too bad. It's AV.
I'm nasty plotted.
Oh God. All right. Let's move on.
Okay, yeah, we'll move on. Number 9 team, the Dreary Lane Darmanitans. Now, this team is like in the middle of the rankings right now, like roughly.
I like the logo. I haven't looked close up at this logo.
The logo's sick, but I'm gonna be a little bit mean here. Okay, the team that Dreary Lane inherited.
Soaring, pull it up on the board. Pull up the screenshot.
Please pull this up.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on, wait. I'll send it to you, Don.
No, I have.
I have that team seared into my brain. The team he inherited was like, honestly, it was pretty head and shoulders the best team in the division.
It was the best team in the division. Number 1 power rankings.
Like it wasn't anything like league breaking, but it was the strongest thing in the division. Like by
10 solid mons, you could bring anyone to any week.
Exactly.
Something that could take like, a Komala, right?
I think Komala is super real. Like it's not the most reliable spinner, but if you need it to be like a special wall with like crazy coverage for a game, like if you need like a Landorus Incarnate check, or even just a Landorus Therian check, you can like make physically defensive or specially defensive Assault Vest Komala, come in, click Ice Spinner, boom, it's gone. Because like it's not going to expect that.
Bring that thing into a Patch. Patch can't do nothing.
Exactly. It's like a lot of these, like Kamala was one of the big reasons this guy changed up the team a lot. He said he didn't like mono spin being Kamala. I think that guy's a lot more real than he gets credit for. The Meowscarada also got dropped, which is kind of crazy because he said what he was saying was he thought 19 points for Meowscarada is an overpay. And while I understand the sentiment, I think it's also not necessarily true. Like the thing about Meowscarada is like at the start of the gen, it was considered like one of those lower point, like not like low point, but like 17, 16 pointer guys with like Garchomp, Sneasler, stuff like that. But recently, it's kind of had this revolution of being a really goated support guy in the vein of like Tornadus Therian, or like I've even seen it in the same tiers like Valiant, and like in some leagues, I think it was like 8-mon leagues, so it was like the top tier was just straight Valiant, Great Tusk, Meowscarada, and those were the top guys. So like basically, Meowscarada has really been refined this generation to like always have a role every game. It can like a T-Spike, knockoff, U-turn spike, Flower Trick's a broken move, Protean's a broken ability. Like that guy was really good, but then we just dropped it. And then we also dropped one of the strongest Terra captains in the format, Terra Keldeo, which maybe the points don't reflect that it's one of the strongest in the format, but it's been on like, again, like Meowscarada, it's been on a legendary rise lately. Like people respect this guy a lot more now.
A mon that can just pick up 15 points in like one league.
Exactly. And Meowscarada provides exactly the kind of support that Terra Keldeo is looking for. Like it provides knockoff support and pivoting. It chips things down. I don't know if I said spikes. It does all that stuff, but then we drop it. But I guess we should just more talk about the team that he has now.
Well, I would say one of the things I'm playing this team this week, so I've been looking at it for a little bit. A little bit lacking in knockoff mons. I think Mamo gets it, Serena gets it, Jirachi gets it, but I don't think any of them really want to be.
Jirachi gets it.
All right, let's say Jirachi doesn't get it. Not really a move that any of those mons really want to be clicking. You really
Except
want
for,
your
like,
knockoff.
Mamo.
Yeah, maybe Mamo, but I think Ice Ground is such a great dual stab.
Yeah.
It would be really nice to have a strong, fast knockoff user, potentially one that could turn into a dark type on this team.
I'm just gonna go slot by slot on this team and like talk about what the equivalent was on the previous team. Like Urshifu single used to be Meowscarada, and Meowscarada is just better than non-Terra Urshifu single. Zapdos didn't get changed. Terra Skeledirge, I guess we can call that like I think Haxorus is like the D-Knight proxy, so I'm gonna call the Skeledirge like the Hatterene proxy, I guess. I don't know. It's like the bulky defensive utility ability guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like Terra Skeledirge is historically kind of a noob trap. It's good, but it's not like crazy good. Terra Haxorus, I think, is just not that good. It's one of those guys that every season we have to lower it in points just because it's never doing what it needs to do. And Dragonite brings a lot of utility to a team while also being more offensively threatening. Jirachi is still really good.
Or you can flex the D-Knight into like something that's fatter, use the multi-scale with like a Roost T-Wave.
For sure. If it still had Heal Bell, it would be insane, but unfortunately it doesn't.
I love Sylveon. Wish it had Terra.
Sylveon, kind of. I don't know. I'm not too worried about Terra on that.
I think
it's here. It's basically
good.
This team has two wishers into guys that aren't like that worried about coming in again later. Like sure, Urshifu Single's a really good healing wish recipient. Wait, did I say Sylveon got healing wish? It doesn't. It does not.
It gets wish.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wish. That's what I was saying. But yeah, it's like Urshifu Single is like a fine recipient of that, but at the same time, the meta as a whole is like way too fast for Wish to be reliably passed to things.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't Gen 8 anymore. You can't just future sight into teleport into Urshifu Single and kill things anymore. You just
I think they're totally like groups of 6 that you can bring with this team. This is by no means like
this isn't a bad team.
It
does hurt me to see so many of the awesome guys from before get dropped.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess the Skeleton proxy from the old team would have been Incineroar, and then the Sylveon is the Hatterene.
What do you think of Terra Braviary? I keep looking at the thing. I don't know what to make of it.
It's good, but it's a one trick. It just does Spadef bulk up Roost. It's basically like budget Annihilate, except it gets Roost. It's like okay.
Well, let's look at the schedule. Playing me, maybe the greatest Iron Valiant matchup I've ever seen.
Also one more thing. This team does not have a grounded poison type anymore. It used to have Muck. At least that was something. There's no grounded poison type anymore. I just when you're drafting a team, that is one thing that is required on a team basically, unless your guys just aren't weak to T-Spike. But Urshifu Single is, Haxorus is, Dirge technically is, but like it's not because it's always boots. Sylveon is, Keldeo is, Serena is, Mamoswine is. Like basically,
I mean, like Zap's in the air. It's probably gonna run boots. Dirge is probably gonna run boots.
Yeah.
Jirachi's not gonna get poisoned. So like I hear you, but also like it might be an Arbok game.
I mean,
the Keldeo and the Urshifu really don't like it.
Serena being mono spin it's like it's okay, but Serena is one of those guys that can't come every game because it's just not that reliable. And like Kamala couldn't have come every game either, but
at least he can't get poisoned.
True.
I think it'll be a tough matchup into me.
For sure. Helsinki
if this team
be tough.
Yeah. And then we'll see what Leo is week 8. Leo matchup is totally doable for this team.
The unaware Skeletor is going to help a lot for the Quack.
I think we look at this team and it's 2 and 3 -2, and you would say, oh, this team is like totally going to make playoffs or totally has a shot at making playoffs. And I'm not going to say no, but but I think it's going to be a little bit tough with the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Before we move on, it is also worth pointing out this guy came into the league week 4, I think. He lost that first game with the old team pretty much. And then for week 5, picked up the new one and then beat Syracuse with it. So, like, there is something to be said about comfort in a team.
Yeah, Choice Band Urshifu, single strike, I think.
Maybe. I don't remember. I don't think I actually saw that game, but...
Just ripped to close combat, took like 65 off of the only physical check for Syracuse. It was the Great Tusk, and just was able to clean up for 4
yeah, like
5.
Urshifu single isn't completely washed, for sure. I just think it's not as solid of a round 1 guy anymore.
You know what's going to happen.
This team could definitely win. This team could also, like, it has a much easier time making playoffs than some of these other teams because it only really needs to win 2 games to be back in it. And honestly, the games coming up are hard. Like Philly is tough, Helsinki's really tough, and then Leo is like probably the easiest. But that's not to say it's easy because, like we said before, the team's really good, and all he needs to do is position like once or twice, and the game is over. So basically, none of these games are going to be easy. So while it's definitely easier for him to make playoffs, it won't be easy.
Muffin Man's gonna watch this video and then just rock me like 4-0 and be like, "Oh no, not again!"
What was that about, Terry?
Oh no, the power rankings.
What was that about Haxorus?
Oh, this Haxorus is gonna like D-Dan scale shot me, and it's like, oh, I just got Haluchid again.
Yeah. Okay. With that, I think we can move on to our number 8 team. This is the last team before the halfway point, and this team is the Helsinki Jellicent Club, taking over for Birmingham, aka Pingu. You got the Dragapult team, and his transactions, honestly, they made the team really weird. But as someone who's prepped against this team, weird doesn't mean bad because holy, this team sucks to prep against. Have you ever tried breaking Fortress? Have you ever tried breaking Fortress and Donphan and Clefable and Milotic? It just doesn't happen. They're too fat. And then you have one of the best cleaners in the format, Terra Gambit. You have the best mod in the format, Dragapult. And then you have like support in Rotom-Mow and technically Munkidori, I guess. Moth is a good Terra Captain too, and Gyapdos, I'm a big Gyapdos fan. Basically, like the team, it isn't following like standard structures, but it is hard to prep against. Maybe I'm just coping because I lost, but it's a good team, and this is a good player. Like his prep is good, and his play is good, and sometimes that's all that matters. If we look at the schedule, the first
just to chime in about the team. Like this is a team that I don't think I can imagine losing like 5 or 6-0. Like just speaking of my team, and we'll get to it later. The lack of a defensive backbone means that I am liable to get swept by a setup mon. This team can't. There's just too many like fat things that are going to be able to trade HP or like allow them to stabilize. Sure. And that's a huge value. And again, you've got this Terra Gambit in the back, so you can scrape out a 1-0 win. If you're trying to pick like an opponent for playoffs, I don't think I would want to pick this one if this is like the 8th seed.
One thing I do want to point out about this team, like construction-wise, is like Fortress specifically. That guy gets a lot of hate in the PBO, and honestly, it's warranted hate. Fortress is not that good, but I think this team builds with Fortress like as good as you can. I think Fortress as a spinner is probably the worst spinner in the meta by a large margin. It gets nothing to hit ghost types. It can T-Wave and it can pivot, but like that's it. But it's never clicking spin. But you don't have to click spin because you got Donphan, and that guy's a real spinner. He will do that job for you consistently, and now Fortress can do its Thunder Wave, its Volt Switch, its Spikes, its T-Spikes, its Iron Defense, and Body Press. It doesn't have to worry about those other jobs anymore because Donphan's doing it for it. And in that vein, Fortress is actually like a good fit on this team. And while Fortress is spike stacking, you have Dragapult, which is like it's not the greatest spin blocker of all time, but it's really good into some of those more offensive low tier spinners, like stuff like Serena and Kamala. Even though they can't hit it with knockoff, they got to make it predict. And if they get it wrong, all of a sudden things are looking bad.
All right, like, I'm gonna make it a controversial take. Okay. Maybe this is me channeling metal. I don't think Fortress is a good spinner. I think Fortress is a very underrated mon.
That's kind of how I feel.
I
Ben's
I
gonna
think
hate us for saying this, but
you can run like spikes, volt switch, screens, gyro ball. There's a ton that you can do with this Fortress. I think the worst thing you want to do with Fortress is like give momentum to a mon that can like set up. And
sure.
in a lot of situations, Rapid Spin does that. I also don't think this is a team that really cares about hazards. You're always going to bring the Moth, and it's going to be able to pick up the T spikes. Nothing's like really weak to rocks, with the exception of like the Moth. Um, I don't. You can't like spike stack against this team really well because something's going to like set up. Or you're going to bring in like a choice band or a choice scarf, Galarian, Zapdos, and that's going to spiker. Like this is not a team that's easy to spike stack against. If the Fortress comes, if you like bring like a 4 Fat Mons team plus like Pult and Moth, that's really hard to break into if you're like running a hyper offense. Last 3 weeks of the season, Leo, very doable matchup. I would almost call Helsinki favored in that. Coming off like the past 2 wins, like they seem really, really comfortable with this team. Dreary Lane, we just talked about it, very doable. And then Blue looks strong, but this is like -8 differential is tough with 3 weeks to go. But I could very much so see this team in playoffs.
For sure. The first 3 weeks were losses for Birmingham, so like Helsinki has a lot to make up for. But the last 2 were like pretty definitive wins. Like even though my game was only like a 2-0, I was kind of not in control of the game. I was playing on the back foot the whole time, so like it was kind of a slog of a game. But he's still tough. He still beat me in the end pretty comfortably. I think the game against Leo is going to be tough because like he's going to be really relying on his physically defensive mons into Leo because Clefable's probably going to be on Bloodmoon duty. But Donphan and Fortress, those are the physical guys. But like Quaquavel can kind of beat them both. Like basically,
Yeah,
if
wouldn't be
it's the
shocked to
right-
see either like a Scarf Mo or a Screens Mo.
something like that. In the blue matchup, I think he's very favored there because that team is like kind of super reliant on Excadrill and Blaziken to make offensive progress, and then like Latios. But Latios can't really beat Fortress that well.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Excadrill with Terra Excadrill, I don't think it can pick a Terra type that beats both Donphan and Fortress, but then also keeps it safe from King Gambit Sucker Punch. Dragapult's it could do like Sunny Day shenanigans into that. Gyarados is gonna absolutely blow up Sand. Blaziken has a hard time beating Donphan and Milotic. Basically, I think Helsinki's super favored in that matchup. I think he probably takes that one pretty easily. If he beats Leo, if he beats Leo, I think he's probably guaranteed playoffs. Dreary Lane also very winnable because you have Dragapult and Terra Gambit. Like, I think those guys can probably take that team pretty well.
You think Fortress can 1v1 the Terra Excadrill? Just run like max HP, max defense, body press, gyro ball?
Depends on the Terra type.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think that's very tough for Alabama.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough one for Sand. With that, I think we're good to move on to our number 7 team. Welcome to the top half of the power rankings. Our number 7 team is the Prophet of the Pantheon, aka Mad Mac. This is our first 3-2 team. This is Palafin Terra Apple. This team, I've mocked with it a little bit. Like I've mocked using it, and I was having a hard time getting it to work. But Mac has not been doing badly with it at all. Beat Cherry Hill 5-0, good strong start to the season. Week 2 was against the Little Rock Yancey's. It was a really awesome game actually. It came down to like big earthquake interactions, which was super awesome. But then into a 6-0 loss to Blasphemous. If I remember correctly, it wasn't a sweep. It was just like a long drawn out game where Blasphemous.
I don't know, the Terra Comfey.
Terra
Ground
right.
Comfey just fucked through.
You're so right. And then he lost to, I think, is that a forfeit win to Dreary Lane Darmanitans? No, because that was Kuma. So yeah, you just beat him. And then he recently lost to Jarv. I think the loss to Jarv was kind of a skill thing. Okay, to be completely fair, I don't think Mac was ever beating Jarv anyways, because when I was mocking with Jarv for that game, I could not make any progress whatsoever. But then, like, the actual game happened, and it was closer than I ever made it, but he still did some stuff like sacking his Hydrapple in the first 10 turns, which I think is really crazy. He did it when he didn't have to.
It was like a 25% roll. It was actually like pretty unlucky. I think that thing ends up as like a... I very easily could have lost that game. I took a move. I took Encore off of Oxy and kind of fell apart.
Yeah, it did almost cost him the game.
Yeah, I also like loaded up for the Crocodile, and that ended up coming back to bite me. I still don't understand why Mac didn't bring Crocodile. I think Crocodile is so good. I think it's like almost needed with this team.
I brought it into you either, though.
I think like this team. This is one of those teams that could bring any 6 mons. But yeah, I think.
Sure. I did a lot of smear goal experimentation, actually.
Yeah, I think what you would want to bring if you were trying to build around this like Palafin Apple. I'm even like staring at like the Terra Thunderous and the Terra Zelf. Like, I think you want to bring Fat with this. I think Klefki gives up too much momentum. I think Smeargle lead is really good, but it's matchup dependent. Like, have they prepped for it? You're just trying to position like this choice band Palafin and give slow pivots or set rocks or get like a burn from G Weezing or Heatran to put Hydrapple in a position to be able to nasty plot up. Obviously, like, super tough matchup, I think, for Mac into me because the Palafin just... You're going into 2 water absorb mons. Like, Palafin has never seen, like, a worse matchup. I don't know. I think you look at the wins and they're definitive. And then you look at the losses and they're against top teams. I think we'll see what happens against Shadow and Blue the next 2 weeks. I think that'll really tell us, like, who Mac is going into playoffs. But I wouldn't be shocked if when we get into playoffs, I 100% expect Mac to make playoffs. But I wouldn't be shocked to see if Mac's team is one of the first ones that are picked. Even though this, Palafin, like Terra Hydrapple are like beastly, but I don't know if this is a great team around it, if only because there are a lot of things that are overlapping on each other, and Mac hasn't been kind of rotating it like that.
Maybe. I think the game against Shadow is going to be really tough because, like, he had Hawlucha is obviously always a problem. We know Shadow can and will run upper hand into Palafin if he has to. Honestly, Hawlucha looks really, really scary this game with just like Terra flying, some standard stuff.
Yeah.
Klefki, does upper hand work against Prankster?
No.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Okay. So I don't know. But he also has the Terra Chi-Yu in the back, which is just as deadly because the dark resist on this team is Galarian, Weezing, and Crocodile. So
yeah. That Chi-Yu is a really good matchup.
Just as scary.
Well, and Klefki. Which, Klefki stands up really well against the Chi-Yu Fire Blast.
Right. So like it can even just like this team isn't that fast either. So like if you're not switching in, like all of the switch-ins to the Chi-Yu are slower than it. So if it's just boots timid, it can just click Dark Pulse and then just click a fire move.
So like I would actually say that this isn't too dissimilar. This is like an upgraded version of Syracuse's where instead of like the Scizor, you've got like the Palafin. Instead of the Titan, you have like the Hydrapple or like the Thunderous.
Maybe just like for purposes of this matchup, I guess, but I don't know about for the rest of it. This team leans a lot more into Fat than Syracuse's team does. Like you have Terra Apple, you have Heatran,
totally.
You have Weezing, you have Klefki, you have Dusknoir, Crocodile does bulky stuff well.
I would love to see Dusknoir. I think Dusknoir is so good into like a bunch of these matchups.
It looks really good as a spin blocker, but I worry this team just doesn't have the spikers to really take advantage of it. Like Klefki it's good at spiking, but it also has massive 4 move slot syndrome, and spikes tends to be one of the first moves that gets dropped on it. Smeargle is a good spiker, but it also has a lot of other things to be doing. Obviously,
there's a lot on Crocodile.
It has everything to be doing.
If you don't bring Crook and Heatran, there's a lot on Crocodile.
Yeah. But like this team, it's good, but it's definitely got its holes. This team definitely though like screams we're trying to go to a banded Palafin endgame every week. Do the mid game breaking with Drapple, Thunderous, Heatran, Crook. and then clean up with Banded Jet Punch. Like that's just how it's supposed to function, and which is good. Like, and that's how it's been functioning. Palafen's got 9 kills. It's like fourth on the kill leaderboard. Like that's the team's plan, and it's been working. You got anything else to say about this team?
No.
All right.
I don't know if I'll click this team during playoffs, but I think it's an option.
Yeah. We're going to move on to our number 6 team, which is me, the Charleston Chestnaughts. Wow. So if we look at the last couple weeks, week 1, I beat Kuma, who was the number 1 team at the time. Week 2, I was a forfeit win from Leo. Week 3, I took a Mew, absolutely destroyed Syracuse. Then after that, I lost to Helsinki, which was like it was a close-ish game, but like I said, he was mostly in control that game. And then the game against Blasphemous, which was really freaking weird. I could have won the game very easily if I didn't misplay and forget gravity interactions with Air Balloon and T-Spike. Like if I had just made that play, I won the game very easily, I think. But also, in case you haven't noticed, the team's a lot different than it used to look. No more Darkrai, no more Tealpon, no more Backs, no more Snow. And in its stead is the corpse of what used to be Kuma's team. We have Meowscarada over Darkrai, which is like, honestly, it's a very marginal increase in how good the team is. Like basically the reason I picked up the Meowscarada in the D-Night was because honestly, I wasn't vibing with Backs very much. It was just okay in the games it came to. And then Meowscarada is like slightly better at supporting Terra Mew, in my opinion. So basically, my team is like the way it's structured is it is built to funnel kills to the Terra Mew, and that's exactly what it's doing. Like if you look at the stat board there, Mew has 11 kills. It's number 2 on the leaderboard. With three games left in the season, it could break the kill record. Potentially, it's going to be difficult because only 3 games need 7 kills. But so far, the kills have been getting funneled to it perfectly. Meowscarada is like slightly better at doing that because even though it can't hypnosis things like Darkrai can, it can spike, knock off, pivot, chip things down, T-spikes for stuff. So like that's better in that regard. I also dropped the Tealpon because honestly, it just felt like a matchup fish, and I was wasting points on it with Terra when I could just have a better breaker like Orgerpon Hearthflame. Like even though it's like, oh, you drop one Orgerpon for another, but honestly, I think this is better just because basically my team didn't have a lot of like dedicated breakers, but Hearthflame is like now kind of filling that role. Dragonite is here because it's bringing a bit more utility and support for the team than Bax was, while still giving me good prio and being good offensively. And then Lycanarch midday is like a 3-pointer or something. I just thought maybe it'll come to a game. It'll click Endeavor and Rocks, and it'll do something. But yeah, so far, like if we look forward to the rest of the season, London Lunalas, that's the rain team. It's difficult, but it's winnable because like with Terra Mew, anything's possible, right? I'm convinced that guy's really, really good. Like round 2 worthy, but no one respects that in PBO, so you can get it later. Yeah. What do you think, Jarv? I've kind of been yapping.
So we were talking about the lack of a grounded poison, and I think that came back to bite you because they never knocked off the air balloon in your Blasphemous matchup.
Yeah, I never ungrounded my poison.
Right. I don't think you want to bring Gengar in a lot of these matchups. I don't know how much you're going to want to bring Meow, Fire Ogre. I wouldn't be shocked if you get into like a mid-game situation where like maybe you're a little bit behind because you lost momentum with like the Tinkaton, or the Mew did like a fast U-turn out and someone like set up on you, or like they dropped a sub and now you got to try to get momentum back, and you're like, well, what's my win condition here? And you saw against like Blasphemous that you had to hold your like Mew in the back because of spike. I think you might have to like Terra the Lando to like stabilize, which, you know, you're building these game plans around the Terra Mew as like your win condition, and sometimes like the conditions that you need to set in order to position that thing aren't going to be there. if I have to guess like what 6 you're going to be bringing every week, it's going to be the first 5 and then the D-Knight over the Fire Ogre, which could be lacking in breaking power. I'd like to see you run kind of a more offensive Blastoise in a number of these weeks, just because I think the water is so good on your team. You don't want to tear the Lando, and the Fire Orgerpon and the Meow, they're not like redundant, but they kind of overlap on their weaknesses. Like if you are holding the Mew in the back and the Lando gets a little bit chipped, maybe you don't have a fighting resist. I don't know. I think there are certainly like Mons that can give you fits. I'll be curious to see kind of how you play against Big Dave, because we describe it as like a rain team, and we'll get to it. But Big Dave, like, it's not a rain team. It's like a hybrid. It's like there's a webs mode, and there's a trick room Ursaluna mode, and there's a rain mode with Terra Barraskewda. It throws like a lot of stuff at you. So I'll be curious to see how you match up with that. But beyond Big Dave, I think that's your big matchup remaining. Again, fully expect you to make playoffs. Wouldn't be surprised if you get in at 5-3. But I could totally see you winning out as well.
All right, let's move on to our number 5 team, the London Lunalas. We were just talking about him.
Big Dave and his Pelipper.
Dave. No more stupid Rain Frog. Stupid Rain Frog is dead.
He never brought it. The whole point was because I wanted to see the Rain Frog in action, and Big Dave has to decide, you know what? No, I'm not going to bring Rain the first 2 weeks.
To be fair, you did drop the Pelipper week 1.
It's
so.
to spite you. You know that.
Anyways, if we're looking at this team, Jarv did say it's like hybrid Rain, hybrid Trick Room. It's not even hybrid Trick Room. There's no Trick Room setter.
Who's the Trick Room setter? Was it Rabombi?
Does that guy get Trick Room?
Yeah, something set Trick Room because he ended up having like a. Am I right about that? Or am I thinking
Persian?
I might be thinking of the Stargazer matchup.
It might be. Yeah, because that's top.
I was thinking of Toronto. Yeah.
Toronto. Yeah.
Rabombi sets same thing. Rabombi sets webs and the Ursaluna kind of blazes through.
I think primarily though this is still a rain team. Like Tornadus, Archaludon, Barraskewda, Pelipper, Raging Bolt is like that's rain. Clodsire is the water absorb guy.
Yeah.
Paldea and Tauros is redundant. Rabombi I've seen on rain before, but you don't need it. Alolan Persian should never come to a game, but I think it already has.
Yeah.
It came against you, right? Didn't you play this?
No, I played this week 8.
Oh, week 8. Okay. It came against someone I was helping, I think. Maybe not.
Was it blue?
Yeah, it was blue. And blue beat him. He brought the Alolan Persian into blue. Maybe for like Excadrill or something, I don't know. But I feel like Alolan Persian shouldn't be coming generally, and neither should Bramblegast. So like especially like Bramblegast, I guess it's like the anti-hurricane guy.
Yeah.
But that's all it's doing.
And you know what? That's like a number of these mons. It's like Tauros is the I don't know, if you need like a dark resist, I guess, and you don't want to use like Rabombi. Persian is kind of fast.
Dark type.
Right. Even like Clodsire, like
Clodsire's the water absorber. It's basically mandatory.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
you have Archaludon, it's gonna kill the momentum on this team. Maybe you can I don't think you ever want to like hazard stack and like spin block with Bramblegast. Maybe you have like a Terra Ghost or Chaludon. That might not be bad. But I think you and I agree that Terra Barraskewda is ridiculous. And
Terra Chaludon is also ridiculous. It's not like equally ridiculous, but it's totally close,
Totally. That thing's a beast.
I played against that guy and it almost destroyed me. Thank God for Sublando. But anyways, I think this is like as pretty bog standard as a rain team gets without having like Zapdos. So like if we look at the schedule so far, he beat Geo, which is 13th on our list, lost to the top team, beat Birmingham at the time. So that was like a mid-tier team at the time. lost to Alabama, who's close to a top team right now. Lost to another top team. Plays me, who's
No,
like
beat
the team like
Shadow.
one right now. Beat Shadow. Oh, you're right. He did beat Shadow.
The
Yeah, you're
Archaludon,
so
man.
right.
Let's talk
Archaludon
about
was
this.
crazy.
Hold on. Let's talk about
I
the 6-0
think-
versus Shadow.
I think it might make more sense to talk about that in Shadow's portion
Alright.
because the loss was because of Shadow's decisions.
Well, Shadow's been goaded by the final question on the pick'ems.
True.
We can blame Soaring for that one.
We can.
He got 0
But-
when I put that in. That's crazy. I should
Yeah,
ban
so
him.
so he plays me, he plays Leo, and he plays Jarv.
Oh my
all of
god,
them, I
the
think, are
week
difficult
8.
matchups. Like I
Week
think
8, Big Dave Jarv.
yeah, it's gonna be this is like a tough back half of the schedule, honestly. Shadow into me, into Leo, into Jarv. Like Leo's not doing well so far, but like we said, all he's gotta do, he's gotta lock in one time. All he's gotta do is
this
position
is-
it one time. Like
That Terra Barracuda rips through Leo.
okay, but I hear that, but I raise you Terra Quaquaval into this team. Like, you just kind of Terra grass and kill everything. Or like you Terra something to resist water.
Yeah, that's a good point with the grass. Maybe he doesn't even bring water.
Terra Dragon looks good.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just something to resist the Barracuda and then Thunderclap. And then all of a sudden Quaquaval beats everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wouldn't be shocked if it's Terra Chaladon with the Barracuda in the back.
Mhm.
Which,
Like, for sure,
isn't
if
as
you have
threatening,
that.
but
But if you're going in planning for the defensive Terra, like Terra Ghost or Chaladon probably smokes him, huh? No, because then there's Roaring Moon. I don't know what you do. Maybe just Fairy, but then Golden Go. It's tough.
It'll
It's
be a good
tough.
matchup.
It's tough.
It'll be a good matchup.
It'll definitely be really good. But like all of these games, they're all winnable, but none of them are easy. You know, like I think it goes for both parties in each game. Like I don't really see a
like that
favored-
6-0 against Shadow was so huge for Big Dave.
It
Can you
definitely was.
imagine if he's like
All
2
of
and
his wins.
3.
All of his wins have been big. Like it's a 4-0, 5-1,
Yeah.
and a 6-0. All of them have been big.
But even just talking about record, imagine if this team was like 2 and 3 with like a +2 differential.
Yeah.
Just we could say like this is a bubble team, but now because they got a 6 Shadow, this is like firmly in playoffs. Firmly expect Big Dave to be there in a few weeks. Not really on the bubble, just has to find a win to finish out with a 4-4 with a good differential. One of the things that I really like to see from teams, from coaches, is having their kills spread out across the board. I think it makes it harder to prep for. I think it shows kind of that you can shift how you're playing based on matchup, or you have like supports that can support different kinds of things. And that's exactly what Big Dave's doing. I feel like I know going into watch Big Dave matches, I'm like, oh, this is gonna come, and almost every single time he brings something different, which is a true value, especially with a team where it's like we just talked about the Persian, the Brambleghast, the Clodsire, I don't really want to see any of them, but he keeps bringing in different stuff, so it's cool to watch. I'm really impressed by Big Dave.
Yeah, he's had a great season so far. I think with that, we're going to move on to our number 4 team, the Alabama Feraligatrs. Now, this was the earliest join of the season. Like of the coaches that joined partway through the season, Blue was the earliest. The only loss was week 1 when June was playing against Shadow, and she lost. And then ever since, Blue picked up the team, and he's won every game since. He's got pretty standard looking sand. You have Excadrill, you have T-Tar, you have Skarmory. It's a pretty tried and true combo. Then you have Hammerot that can also get up spikes for those guys. Latios, who I'm not personally a fan of, but he was picking through a board that had already been like destroyed, which is why Latios and Blaziken are on the team. Blaziken's just been okay for him, honestly. He's got 1 kill, no deaths with it. That doesn't sound right. I'm pretty sure it's died, but whatever. Quillfish is a good defensive guy. Decidueye is a good pairing with that. Jolteon is Terra, which I think we got.
It came to 1 game and went 2-0.
Yeah, it was Quick Feet into, I forget who it was. I think it was into Big Dave, I think.
Yeah, it was Big Dave because
so
it
it was just a
outpaced the
fast.
bear.
Yeah. Gardevoir is Terra, and Staraptor probably won't come, but it's fine. Like basically, he's just been positioning his Excadrill really well. It's got 9 kills. It's doing its thing.
Yeah.
The team
No big wins. Like
Yeah,
no
no
real
big
big
wins.
wins against
Yeah.
two kind of weaker teams, and then Leo, who's struggled. That 3-0 against Leo is actually solid.
Yeah. His game plan has kind of just been trade off pieces until we get to an Excadrill end game, which has been working out.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I don't have to see this team.
Me too.
I think this team is like really annoying to go into. I think the PBO is pretty pilled against the sometimes really passive mons that can get you in trouble. I think Skarmory is great on this team. I actually don't hate Quillfish at all. I even like Decidueye. I think you can do a lot of cool stuff with Decidueye. Like I don't think you want to be defogging at all, but it can do that. You can run like some really cool Scarf sets if you need to, if you don't want to bring like the Jolteon because it doesn't have a great matchup.
I think Spirit Shackle's a kind of like untapped move on Decidueye a bit. Like I think what I had it a season or two ago.
Metal likes Decidueye. Metal likes Decidueye.
Does
I remember
he?
that.
Okay.
No, I don't know. He has Decidueye on his team, and he tried running that curse synthesis set.
But like what I did was I knew Registeel was going to come in on me, so I'm like, okay, fine, I'll trap it with Spirit Shackle, and then I'll just click Nightshade on it till it dies. And it would have worked perfectly if Showdown had saved my set, but it didn't. So it almost worked really well.
Yeah, you like Spirit Shackle Nightshade more than Mean Look Curse?
I don't want to talk about that. I do want to talk about Skarmory a little bit, about the passivity comment you made about like how it's passive sometimes, but it's still good. I think what's sets Skarmory apart from the other quote unquote passive guys is A, Skarmory's not actually that passive with body press, and B, it's really good at clicking Whirlwind, so it can punish things that are trying to set up in front of it.
Yeah.
So like it's not really as passive as some of its contemporaries. Like I think Corviknight's a bit more passive. Like, even though it can get out with U-turn, I think they're kind of equally as passive, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like we look forward to the rest of the season. We have week 6 against Syracuse. That's Stand v Snow. I honestly don't know who I favor in that game. Tusk looks really, really threatening into this team. So we're probably going to see like a Terra Grass or Terra Water, Terra Ice, something to take care of that from Excadrill.
Jolteon's free. There's not anything even close to Jolteon's speed tier. You could choice spec that thing.
It's going to be, it can be modest, super easy. Probably Terra Fairy, so we can like Alluring Voice the Tusk and the Kyurem.
Blaziken could sweep through.
Yeah, Blaziken could sweep through. Latios actually is really threatening because Scizor is the Dragon Resist, and then Alolan Ninetales. So like Soldew, Draco Meteors are looking really dangerous.
Oh, I would love to see like a really nice like Gardevoir Trace onto the what's it called? Onto the Slush Rush.
Yeah, for sure. So like both of the teams have options, but I don't know if I might favor Alabama just a little bit in that, just because of like some of these guys just have really good matchups here.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
pretty good matchup in a MAC.
To anyone that says Terra Excadrill isn't that good, try prepping for one and then get back to me. So yeah, you said MAC, probably a pretty good matchup there. Excadrill is going to be forced into a defensive Terra type to resist Jet Punch, but that's it likes being Terra Grass anyways.
Just keep like the Rocky Helmet and Tim Quillfish in the back.
Mm-hmm. Or Skarmory or whatever. Latios can probably drop Dracos pretty freely. It lets Klefki in, but I don't know. What's the week 8 game? Helsinki? Helsinki is going to be really hard for this team to. I think we talked about this game, right? Because like the Excadrill can't beat the Donphan and the Fortress without being susceptible to Sucker.
But Blue's been doing great. This could totally be
this team. I would say it's as good as It's as good as locked for playoffs. Like, sure, technically it's not locked, but I don't see a world where he doesn't make it. You know?
Yeah, agree. Probably would say the same thing about Big Dave. But there's a reason why it's up here. Like, it's hard to pick up a team off a loss at the beginning of the season and to climb up to like 4-1 +7. Like, that's pretty gross.
For sure. I think with that we can move on to our number 3 team. You guys might know him. It's the Philadelphia Porygon Z's, aka Jarv. I'll let you start off with your team here.
I keep sending screenshots to Shadow of me meeting Hawluchas that have set up a sword stance against me in random battles. That thing has been, I don't want to say like giving me nightmares, but it like definitely kind of opened my eyes to the fact that like, oh wow, I just like don't have a plan, or I have to like all in on like an endure in some of these like matchups against like these setup threats. Like that's why I'm thinking about the Terra Hacks or the Terra Salamence. I'm like, wow, I don't have an emergency button, like a wall that could just solve a problem for me, like a fortress. Not solve a problem for me, but like, you know, help me stabilize. This is definitely a team that needs to keep momentum, and if it loses momentum, I have to spend a ton of resources to like bring it back. And that's what happened in the Mac game. I had dropped Encore off of Uxie, didn't realize in the moment, and I had to like basically sack most of my Ape and most of my Volcanion HP. Hit like a pretty lucky roll in order to kind of stabilize it. That being said, I love my team. This thing has so many like offensive threats, and it's like so hard to prep for like the Terra Annihilate. The Terra Volcanion is just a tank. I've been pleasantly surprised with like Lycanroc. I've cracked the Iron Valiant. I know that's something I've struggled with last season, and other people have struggled. The G Moltres picked up a 6-0. Could this team be better? Absolutely. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, the team is like really crazy good offensively. Like in terms of like if we're just looking at Terra captains, I don't think there's a team out there that can effectively prep for all three of Annihilate, Galarian Moltres, and Volcanion. Obviously, the thing is they're never going to have to face all three of them because only one can Terra in any game. But when they have to devote so many resources to stopping three different Terra guys like that, it can open up a lot of your other guys. Like Valiant has 6 skills in 5 games, which is like pretty average, but like it's doing the cleanup stuff, right? It gives Treads more opportunity to like Volt Switch and get its support off. Uxie support, Araquanid's damage and support. Lycanroc, has that guy come to a game yet, or is he? He's come to 2 games.
He's come to 2.
Okay.
Yeah, he picked up the kill in the
Yeah,
Sun
it like basically it opens up all those things. But it's like basically what this team is doing is, in lieu of having a traditional defensive core, like Treads Uxie is as close to a defensive core as this team gets, but it can't like over rely on them because they won't do it for forever. In lieu of having like a strong defensive core like that, this team forces prep from offense or to handle this team's offense, and then uses that to leverage other opportunities with things like the Dusk and like the Volcanion and the Valiant. So it's trying to force as much prep as possible and then blow things up anyways because they're being pulled in too many directions. And so far, it's been doing a really good job of that. It's 4-1 plus 10. He beat Leo, he beat Birmingham, he beat Geo, and he beat Mac. Lost to Lion City because of the Hawlucha, which we'll talk about in a minute. But like overall, it's been really solid. I like the Arbok specifically. You've been using really interesting. It came to one game. It came to the game you lost, but it like 1v1 to Ting Lu, which is crazy.
I ran mocks, and there were mocks where the Arbok basically took off most of the HP and items and glared like Petrarunt and Ting Lu. This is like I replayed Shadow after, and it was like a 1-0 in his favor. And it's just because I didn't let myself get snowballed. The Arbok definitely lets me get snowballed sometimes. I think that if you want to beat me, you're going to have to run like 4 Fatmons or set up first. And the 2 teams that are kind of best situated to run the 4 Fatmons are, I think it was Blue. No, what's the Fortress team?
Helsinki
And Shadow. I didn't prep for the 4 Fatmons from Shadow. I was prepping for like Bundle and like Chiyu, and all right, I know what to expect going forward. That Big Dave matchup at the end could be very scary for me because Big Dave could bring like the 4 Fatmons. This team is, you know, I would be shocked if I miss playoffs. but I would not be shocked if I went out first round.
All right, I think with that we can move on to our number 2 team, the Lion City Beach Lives, aka Shadow. This team was, for most of the season, it had been like the team to beat. Everyone's eyes was on this team. If we look at it, Hawlucha has 18 kills and it got them all in the first 4 weeks. It is tied for the all-time kill record halfway
After
through
4
season.
games. After 4 games.
After 4 games, which is insane. First 3 games it came to, it got every single kill. And they were all wins.
And like,
That's
it's hitting
insane.
the win button with Hawlucha, but also a testament to Shadow. The
it's
Tinglu
both.
Patch defensive core is gross.
We can say that it's like, oh, it's just clicking the Hawlucha button, but it's not, because he's not just doing SD acrobatics every time.
Right.
He's not just like spamming Terraflame. He's doing like a unique, insane set every week, tapping into Hawlucha's support move pool, into non-conventional Terra types, into stuff
Limber,
like that. Like
he ran Limber Hawlucha one week, upper hand.
The limits of like what Hawlucha can do. Like this is what Hawlucha can do when pushed to its absolute limits. It's crazy and it's awesome, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. Tinglu Patch, gross. Bring the Orthworm with the Tinglu and the Patch. I know he's talked about how he doesn't want to be running spikes and rocks on Tinglu, so he'll bring both. So annoying to break through. Like, you go from weak to ground Patch, weak to ghost, to resist ghost Tinglu, just takes so many resources to try to break, and then gets HP back on the ground, unlike the EQ's Earthworm, plus the weakened Earthquakes from the Rillaboom grassy terrain. Like, I think this team is best when you're running 3 or 4 Fatmons on it. I wouldn't be shocked if we never really see Chi-Yu bundle together. I'd almost say they're like a little bit redundant, but they're not, because you don't have to tear the Chi-Yu and the bundle run and stuff like Encore. We can talk about the Big Dave match next and like what happened. But Shadow just seems like he's having so much fun after I don't know how you would describe Stargazer last season, Soaring, but Shadow did not seem like he was having a good time, and that's what he played like. Shadow seems like he's having a ball right now.
Well,
For sure.
Well, if I'm in Gazer and I'm losing, and his life is kind of changing, then one thing kind of falls in its draft. But when I come down to Sunset, you tell me I can have a Lucha goes 18-1, and all I gotta give up is 160. Dude, I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast with this in Sunset right now.
But yeah, the 6-0 from Dave, it really was just a result of Shadow getting a little bit lost in the sauce, and trying to find a Hawlucha set that's 6-0s with a Raging Bolt and a Barraskewda on the other side. Like, it's just not happening.
And an Arch Hawlucha.
Yeah, and an Arch, Terra Arch. Like, with all of those factors, Hawlucha's just never going to sweep in that game. And Shadow was so invested in trying to get to shatter the kill record by getting 6 kills that game that he just got lost in the sauce, and he paid the price for it. I think every single mon on that team was invested in some way to supporting the Hawlucha, and then it just didn't work out. So it happens.
He told me that pre-game.
He'll definitely bounce back.
It's I grew up watching.
Is winnable.
Yeah, I grew up watching Duke basketball. I love Duke basketball. And the thing that me and my dad would always wait for is like that early ACC play, mid-season, just stinker that the team would always
stay
drop.
on the video. Stay in the video, people. This is good. Stay in the video.
There's a point here, and we knew the Coach K, would just go back into the locker room and like scream at the kids after they lost, get up at 2 a.m. to film and like run, and that would kind of push them through the rest of the kind of getting all of like kind of their stinky play, their like self-doubt. I think with this 6-0, Shadow's a little bit liberated from the I have to get 6-0 with Hawlucha every game. I would not be shocked if Shadow comes out of this winning the Sunset Ship and going back to the Stargazer. I think up until this Big Dave, I don't want to call it like a toss, but this Big Dave match, by far and away the favorite.
For sure.
But you'll see, we'll talk about our number 1 team, but this team is disgusting, and the matchup week 8 is against the other number 1, which would be really fun.
Yeah, I think for the rest of the season, I think he probably beats Mac. I think Hawluch is just going to feast on that team. I think he's going to beat Geo because, like, I just don't see how Geo's team beats Hawlucha, honestly. And then Blasphemous, that one's going to be hard because Blasphemous always has some insane cooks, which we'll talk about here in a second. Yeah, this team is definitely going to make it to playoffs. If it doesn't make it to at least semis, I don't know what to say. I would be inclined to call the season a failure, but at the same time, any season where you break the kill record can't be a failure. So the season's already a dub. Because like the Hawluch is gonna get one more kill, I'm like sure of that. Anything else you have to say, Jarv?
No.
Alrighty. And with that, we move on to our number 1 team in the power rankings. The only undefeated team in Sunset right now. The Blasphemous Blacephalons. Now, this team was put towards the bottom. It wasn't the very bottom. I think it was like second to last in the power rankings for preseason. And honestly, we knew it was going to get moved up. I still think the team is not that good, but the power rankings were only based on team, how strong the team was, not how good the coach was. And we already knew that Blasphemous always has some whack team and always does really well with it, but he's really going above and beyond this season. He week 1 he beat Milton Keynes' Little Rock, which was a forfeit win actually.
It was who was that?
What?
Was it Little Rock?
Yeah, it was Little Rock. It was a forfeit.
Did Little Rock start the season?
Little Rock started with a forfeit.
This is true.
It was a claim.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's first
Right.
week 2.
Under Lunalas. Beat them. That's number 4 team, I think it was. We just did this. Number 5 team. 6-0'd Mac, middle of the road team. 3-0'd Pokerangers, towards the bottom. And then 3-0'd me, the number 6 team in the power rankings. Now, I don't actually remember a lot of the tech from some of the other games. I know the Terra Ground Comfey 6-0'd Mac. And but like past that, I don't remember a lot of the crazy tech. In the game against me, though, you know what came? Chili Reception Slowking into Weather Ball Life Orb Gouging Fire for Landorus. Did 96%. Shocked it didn't kill, by the way. I can't believe it didn't kill. But it didn't. And then all of a sudden, my Landorus, aka my main defensive guy in the matchup, is on 4% with rocks up. So it's dead, basically, effectively. Insane tech, great bring. The Sneasler, I think, was scarfing to me, pretty standard. The Greninja was Shuriken for Lando and like Darkrai and stuff like that, which is a good bring. But basically, this team is just... I still think, like, looking at this team, it's not good, conventionally speaking. But, like, you have Arboliva and Cryogonal as, like, low-tier special walls you don't really need. Cryogonal spins, but, like, Corviknight defogs, and your hazard game isn't that strong anyways. I feel like with Terra Greninja, you don't really want to be tearing your other guys, but hey, he's been tearing the other guys. He Terra the Comfey, got a 6-0, Terra the Garganacl, and beat me with it. So yeah, like he's been doing really good. All of his wins have been like, he's just been leveraging his low tier guys really well, I think. Like the Comfey did really well, the Garg's been cooking. The Gligar was really good into Leo, I want to say. I don't know if has Sableye come yet. Sableye has come. Yeah. Cryogonal's the only guy that hasn't come, which I think is weird because I think that guy's the best of the low tier guys he has here.
Hazard stacked Leo. Had a good bit of trouble against Big Dave. Like if you take out that 6-0 against Mac, right, which is just call it a Comfey sweep.
It's just Comfey. The matchup.
None of these wins have been really like definitive. Like they could have gone either way.
They haven't been crazy dominant.
If Leo hazard, it like trades hazards at the beginning instead of putting up like the screens that were just going to die in like 5 turns. Leo could have won that. If you had switched in the Gengar during gravity
at any
and
point during gravity,
spikes, you could have won that. Right. So
I would go so far as to say if I did that, I almost couldn't have lost. Because the Terra Poison Mew with Covert Cloak was so dominant that if it didn't get poisoned, nothing beat it ever.
Yeah. So, like, this is a team, sucks to prep for, 10
Yeah, for
mons
sure.
that could all come. Someone who's really good at those like iffy mons. Like we've talked about some of the other teams, like they're not super comfortable with some of the mons that they have. Like I'll even go so far to say that about like my low tier mons. Not the case for Beboop. Beboop can hazard stack you. Beboop can throw down a toxic spike and go to Comfey and Encore, or it could go to Garg. The gouging can run who knows what, right? Like we've seen the weather ball. It could be like a baneful bunker. Like there are so many different things that this team can do, and we know Beboop loves fat. I didn't talk about it in kind of my section of like which teams I don't want to play. Like this team kind of sucks for me to play into. Like we talked about, Fairy is a really good typing. It's like, do you have adequate Fairy resist? Corviknight's pretty good. You can tear the Garg, but either way, you can just like invest in stats for it, and it can just like get away from things. If you're relying on like Moonblast or like Draining Kiss, like Arboliva can kind of wall that even without Terra.
Same with
This
Cryo.
team. Same with Cryo. Like this team is just a bear to deal with. And I don't think Beboop's trying to win, 6-0, 4-0, 5-0. I think Beboop is going to slog it out with you, and he's been in the mud. He knows exactly how he wants to play. If you're like running a faster team, I wouldn't be shocked if that's another like 5-0 or 6-0 in Beboop's favor over Shadow in week 8. Just simply because we've already seen Shadow lose to a fat team because he's been trying to focus in on the Hawlucha. He's going to be already locked for playoffs. Easily could be a Beboop just like sweep because his team is too fat.
Yeah, for sure. I do think one thing this team really does have to worry about, though, is poison types. Like what I did when I saw this team, I was like, wow, if I'm just Terra Poison Mew, it beats the whole team. Nothing can actually take this out on its own.
Yeah,
So,
your ground is Gligar.
Yeah, your ground is Gligar, and
your Psychic is Slowking.
Neither of which are like trying to break poison types. And then Sneasler gets walled by those guys anyways. And then like Garganacl has to run Earthquake to hit it. Gouging Fire has to run Earthquake, which if Gouging Fire isn't set up already, and if it's not booster attack, those Earthquakes aren't doing that much if the poison's like that. Like if I have a good Terra captain into this team, I'm clicking Terra Poison. Like one of the like Terra Ape, I'm clicking Terra Poison and I'm like Cobra Cloak. If I'm like Terra, I don't know what else would count. Zarude, like Zarude's not allowed, but if it was like Terra Zarude, I'm Terra Poison and I'm absolutely smoking this team. Stuff like that. Because this team just kind of struggles into those guys. So it's something like Blasphemous has to look out for.
Like a Terra Poison, Covert Cloak, D-Dan, Salamence would do really well in this team.
For sure.
Like we've talked about with some of the other teams, how they have Terra captains that don't have a lot of like optionality. I'm thinking of like Mug's team, and Gazer has like Terra Cinderace and Terra Orgerpon Teal.
Mm-hmm.
This team just can get blown up by like one or two types of like Terra captains, and I think the toughest matchups for Beboop are going to be, can they handle that very clear, very obvious, like, here are my matchup fishes. It's going to be the ground with like a high attack stat. It's going to be a Terra Poison, maybe with like a Covert Cloak. The way that he dealt with it against Dawn was Weather Ball, Gouging Fire. I can't imagine that happening again. So now the next time is going to have to be the Gren, or maybe it's like a weird Cryogonal set. Like, I don't know. This team, I could see this team, getting to the championship. I could see this team just going up into week 1 and just having like a really awkward time with it, and maybe like sneaking out a win. Yeah.
Like this team is locked for playoffs at this point. I don't think it's possible for it to not be in playoffs. Even if it loses 6-0, it'll still be 5-3 plus 1. So like maybe that's technically possible, but like losing 6-0 all 3 weeks, I don't think that's going to happen with a team with Garganacl, Comfey, like all of these fat guys. It's not happening. With the number of turns this guy's having with all of these guys, he's going to take at least 1 or 2 guys down with him every week, even if he loses.
Yep. I've never played Beboop. I prepped him for semifinals last season. So impressed. Yeah,
he's very good play. He's got really good game sense. And I do want to say, I did say like, oh, the Terra Poison guys are his biggest threat. He just like that was exactly what I brought into him, and he still beat me.
Yeah.
Like so, like clearly it's not an auto win into him. If I had
Yeah.
played a little bit better, I definitely did win with it. But like, I think Terra Mew is probably of all the Terra captains that are available on the board, it's probably like the biggest threat into him. Maybe Terra Quaquaval. Maybe
Anything
the
that can
Terra
really like set
Annihilate.
up, just like get
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
Maybe, like,
Those setup guys can break through this, but like also the Terra Poison, like not only is it good for like Wall Sneasler, Gouging Fire struggles a little bit, Greninja struggles a little bit. Comfey can't revenge those guys either. That's the scariest part because Comfey's draining because can't revenge it anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see more.
The team's also kind of Dark Weak.
Yeah, I was thinking about my goal trace. If I'm going into playoffs and I'm picking a favorite, right? No matter how the week 8 matchups goes, I'm probably going to pick Shadow.
I think I am too.
But if those two are the ones moving up to Gazer, like, good luck to Gazer.
Yeah,
these two can totally
hang. These two would smash Gazer. Like Lion City going back up, it's like, all right, we made a mistake. You had an off season. Welcome back to Gazer. Blasphemous has been pretty steadily on the climb for a while now. Won Neon, and then dropped out, came back now, and now he's back to killing it.
I could not draft a team as good as Beboop.
He's the definition of comfort.
Yeah, this is what happens when you draft what you're comfortable with, and you're also a really good player. Like if this guy, if he sat down and learned some standard competitive stuff, put him above Gazer. Like it'd be dangerous. I think right now, like it's not even like that his team style is holding him back because he's still beating everyone, right? But his team is like weaker than the other teams, and he's still destroying them. So I just think if you give this guy some real heat, it's over. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the team.
Yeah, we just glazed the two past people who've beaten us.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Soaring, what are you looking forward to for the rest of the season?
No more drops. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Put the words out of my mouth.
No more sunset, please.
No more drops. No more forfeits.
No more. Just don't drop.
Has it been 4 drops or 5 in sunset? We've got Helsinki, Muffin Man, Blue Fusion, Ryu, and then that's it. That's 4. 4 drops in Sunset this season. We've had a total of 18 coaches in Sunset all season.
Yeah.
I think the goal, let's keep it under 20.
Keep it.
Oh my god. Like we got to like the number 10 in the power ranking. It's like, okay, this is the like coach that we've had that didn't drop.
Yeah.
Or like the first coach we've had that like had a win.
We thought in PBO that our prime dropout time was the holidays. I guess it is the summer, and you have the most time. Maybe that's the I don't know. Maybe that's on me. But no more drops. And
anyways, I think we're at the point of the season where some people are worried about relegation.
Yep.
Right now, the person that really needs to be fighting it is Cherry Hill. Past that, I think everyone technically still has a chance at playoffs. Cherry Hill's probably the only one that's out. But
yeah,
like even Geo, I think could come back if he locks in.
Yep.
Specs and Enamorus kills everything.
Geo loves playing spoiler. He needs a Tottenham type of break to make playoffs. Shuts out.
Yeah, I think the only people that I would say are like comfortably locked for playoffs are Blasphemous and Shadow. Even though Jarv is only like 1 diff behind Shadow, I think he's the games are like going to be a little bit more difficult. Let me just check the schedule real quick.
PPC.
Well, okay, Shadow does have to play Blasphemous, and Jarv doesn't, which is like a notable difference. Yeah, actually, Jarv probably has an easier schedule than Shadow's going forward. So maybe it is like the same chance that they're both like locked.
I'd be surprised if I went 0-3.
Yeah, I would too.
But I think that differential One of these could easily be like a 4 or 5-0 loss.
Yeah, it really depends.
Get out the bad ones before playoffs, right?
Yeah, gotta get that. Gotta bloodlet the bad juju.
That's why you play Rambat for your actual game.
That's why I play Rambats.
No more drops. Use
No
game
more drama.
Use match coordinating dramas. Use game
Please
times.
nobody blow up your div. Please don't. Please don't trade value.
Jarv, can I please have value? Please. Please. All right.
Hey, I'm looking to trade for the Orgerpon Teal. Does anyone want my Iron Valiant?
I just dropped Orgerpon Teal actually.
Oh. Someone find me a Clodsire.
All right.
Hearthflame for you.
And with that, Lucha, you'll break a record, and we'll see who relegates, who promotes. We'll see y'all before week 8, week 7 into week 8. All right, bye.